Good morning, everybody, and welcome to today's severe weather update. So once again, we're going to be seeing dangerous severe weather today, this time across the Midwest, where the Storm Prediction Center has issued an enhanced risk of severe weather for northern Missouri, southeastern Iowa, most of Illinois, southwest Indiana, and western Kentucky in orange. We have a slight risk across eastern Colorado, all the way through Tennessee and Kentucky in the yellow, and a marginal risk in the dark green from Wyoming all the way down to Alabama, Georgia, up towards Ohio and Michigan. So looking at today's tornado threat, we have an elevated tornado threat across portions of central, southern Illinois, southwestern Indiana, western Kentucky today, where we have a 5% chance of tornadoes touching down within 25 miles of location in this brown area. This includes Springfield, Illinois, and Evansville, Indiana. So make sure you're on guard for a few tornadoes, especially in this brown area today, and then across the green area in northern Missouri, southeast Iowa, much of Illinois, central western Indiana, into northwestern Kentucky, in Hannibal, Peoria, Indianapolis, St. Louis, and Louisville. We have a 2% chance of tornadoes touching down within 25 miles of a location. So make sure you're on guard for an isolated tornado if you live in this green area today. Oh, we also have a 2% chance of tornadoes across eastern northeast Colorado, southwest Wyoming, and western Nebraska, including Cheyenne and Denver. Looking at the damaging wind threat today, we're looking at the potential for another derecho, unfortunately, where we have a 30% chance of damaging straight line winds of 58 miles per hour stronger within 25 miles of a location across northern Missouri, southeast Iowa, much of Illinois, southwestern Indiana, northwestern Kentucky, 15% chance in the yellow from Colorado to Tennessee, 5% chance in the brown from Wyoming to Georgia. We also have this hatched area, and this is where we could be seeing wind gusts of 75 miles per hour or stronger today, and this is where we could be seeing the derecho from northwest Missouri to northwest Kentucky. So if you live in Peoria, Springfield, Hannibal, and Evansville, even St. Louis, make sure you're preparing for destructive wind gusts today and a possible derecho. And looking at the large hail threat today, we have a 15% chance of quarter-sized hail or larger within 25 miles of a location. In the yellow areas, 5% chance in the brown area, and we have two areas where we could be seeing significant destructive hail today. One across Cheyenne, Wyoming to western southwest Nebraska into eastern Colorado, and the other across the Midwest in the areas that have the damaging wind threat. So if you live in these two hatched areas from Chicago to Peoria, Springfield, Hannibal, Evansville, even Indianapolis and St. Louis, make sure you're parking your cars in the garage today, as we could be seeing golf ball to tennis ball to baseball to softball size hail, and some of this hail could be wind driven, especially across this Midwestern area. So looking at the current radar, we actually have a possible developing derecho ongoing right now across northern Missouri into southern Iowa. We have a well-defined mesoscale convective system moving across southern Iowa, northern Missouri, towards Illinois, and this has been producing several severe thunderstorm warnings across southern Iowa and northern Missouri. And then we have another cluster of storms across northwestern Kentucky, also producing severe thunderstorms and flash flooding. So looking at the severe thunderstorm watches and warnings, we have severe thunderstorm warnings across southeast Iowa, northeastern Missouri, west of Burlington. We have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect until 11 a.m. for 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts. And then towards near Quincy, Illinois, we also have, or just north of there, we got some severe thunderstorm warnings for 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts and quarter-size hail. So these are some damaging storms moving through. And then near Macon, Missouri, We also have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect until 10:45 a.m. Central Daylight Time for 70-mile-an-hour wind gusts. And hidden in all this, in Memphis, I believe Missouri. Yeah, Memphis, Missouri. We currently have a tornado warning. So by the time the video is out, it's going to move out of the area, but this is a confirmed tornado on the ground. So these storms have been producing tornadoes. So make sure you're really paying attention to these storms if you live east of this complex. And then towards Kentucky, we also have severe thunderstorm warnings near Madisonville until 11 a.m. for 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts, nickel-size hail, and then 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts and 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts and nickel-size hail, and also flash flood warnings in the Owensboro area, Boonville area, where we've seen as much as 3 to 4.5 inches of rain in some of these locations in the last 90 minutes. So these are very heavy rainfall rates too. Now, looking at the future radar and the HRRR model, the 12Z run, this cluster is going to continue across Illinois as we go into 11 a.m. and could intensify over central Illinois as we get daytime heating. And then as we go into noon, storms are going to push around south central to eastern Illinois, while the cluster across northern Kentucky, southern Indiana kind of fizzles out. And as we go into 1 o'clock, the second round of very damaging storms, the mesoscale convective system, is going to be pushing into western Indiana, south central Illinois, and this is where we could start seeing the derecho threat really increase, is this afternoon across south central Illinois. Going into 2 o'clock, could be seeing very damaging winds pushing through Indianapolis into southwest Indiana, southeastern Illinois through 3-4 o'clock. Storms pushing into north central Kentucky. Going into 5 o'clock central time, clusters across southern Illinois, and possible derecho moving through central Kentucky through Lexington, possibly by 7 o'clock this evening, and then the eastern edge of this mesoscale convective system will die out by around 8 p.m. this evening, but the western edge, we could see some very large hail damaging winds near Nashville, Tennessee, as well as the Missouri, Illinois, Kentucky triple point by 8 p.m. And then once the sun set, looks like our storms are going to die out. So if you live especially across Missouri, southeast Iowa, Illinois, Indiana, Kentucky, and even down towards Tennessee, as we already have an ongoing possible derecho in the making, make sure you're really preparing for destructive wind gusts, very large hail, even tornadoes today. Stay safe. Have a wonderful day, my friends.